Ooh, man, I swear to God. So, hey, welcome everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. I see we got 24 likes. We got 7 people in the room. A real live update for what's going on here. So let's make sure we keep those likes going. And
Was good. Like a new car.
nah, just moving around, getting some fresh air this morning. That's all. And thinking things through. There's a lot that has to be said, and we're gonna try not to mince too many words, but there are things that need to be addressed. So we're gonna give y'all a second. Who's all in here? Let's see who's here. Salute. I'm just joshing. Hey, Fluffy, Jesse, Salute Yvonne, Nick, Mo GG. Hey. So yeah, all right, we almost at 50 likes. Let's keep liking. Let's try to
Yeah,
get to that
y'all hit
100
the
likes as
like.
soon as possible. I know that
Definitely hit.
there's like a like aversion or something every time people get to telling the truth on YouTube these days, but let's not let that hit us here. Um, so let's just take a quick poll while everybody's getting in here. Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen episode 1 of Defending Your Freedom, the Demoree Hadley story. Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen it. Put a 2 in the chat if you haven't. I really want to just get a sense of how many people are actually in the know, and how many people are still don't know category. Okay. It's so crazy. Hot and windy. That will always perplex me. Back on the East Coast, you don't usually get windy or hot. But that's the difference about the desert. Everything's different. Ugh, okay. We got some ones. I'm just getting ready to go to my cousin's wedding. Oh, well, Mazel Tov. Congrats. That's something that's a brave, beautiful move. There's so many people now in the world. Ugh, used to be, you know, people who got married and started families, and now everybody just kind of does whatever they want to do. I don't know, but salute to them, and I hope you guys have fun, and I hope nobody gets too drunk, and I hope nobody fights. I don't know what it is about weddings and funerals, but it really does bring the worst out of people. Hey, Kenzen, long time. So yeah, don't mind me, guys. I'm just bobbing along, hiking along. We're getting close. 25 more likes to 100.
Yeah. 20 more likes. Come on, y'all. Hit the likes. Hit the like. And yeah, we in here. Everybody, it's the usual suspects in here, right? That's what I could say. Oh, too many, too many weirdos, too many. But we're not gonna focus on the quaint. We shouldn't.
We really don't. There's so much that's going on and there's so much that's happening that it's just like the distractions are so thick right now. I don't even think people can see that they're
Yeah, every 72 hours is something. So I've been out here covering the protest, and that thing pretty much is about as dead as a doorknob. Trump interjected, and you know he brought in the National Guard, and there's going to be some news about whether that's unconstitutional today or tomorrow. But then, boom! Now we got Iran. You got it's just like you know, it's like you say, the media. It doesn't even give your brain a minute to pause and think. But those are the stories that they want us to focus on.
so, so Michael, thank you as always. And yes, please, let's get the likes up. We should be at 100 likes by now. Hey, you know what? We should be at 100 likes by now. We're close, but I know we ain't been here in a minute. All of us together here. Travel City and other places.
All right, you sound muffled. What's going on?
I sound muffled.
Okay, you better now.
It's probably because of the wind.
No, you better now. You good?
So yeah, it's the wind. My mic is just like
Yeah,
super
yeah, yeah,
sensitive. Oh,
yeah.
we have a new member. Welcome, Diana. Welcome to Jack Nation. So I think a lot I think a lot of what's going on right now is that people want to know everything right now. They want the answers right now. They want to get the whole story right now. And that's just not the way information works. Not reliable information. Reliable
Nah,
information, it takes time to verify, it takes time to go through. So anybody that's offering you fast verdict predictions, breaking news, what's going on, you should be leery of it. You should be very leery of it. Jesus is splendid. I'm going to mute up. Take over for a second.
yeah, yeah. Anybody that wants to push a story out with 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 the quickness, you got to be mindful of their integrity and their intentions. I mean, if it's something like a story that's someone who I don't know, they're a beauty pageant winner who overcame obstacles. They got one arm, and one of those type of what do you call them? Personal stories or whatever. And this person could be relatively unknown. Okay, we get that. You could do that in one shot. We understand that. When you have a situation like what's going on with the Hadleys, you really need to take your time and let your audience know. Like it's layers. It's like an onion. It's layers to it. And shout out to you, Jag, because hold on, I got the Nutrarat up. Let me cam up real quick. Yeah, shout out to you for pretty much building up a platform so that people feel comfortable coming to you, not other people. They come to you because they trust you, and you pretty much you have the cachet and the integrity, um, and people understand, where you came from, and it's like, hey, well, you have the perfect platform to get your story out, their story out. So shout out to you for that, because yeah, you heard about the Hadleys, and you had a couple of conversations with them and the attorney, and it was just like, yeah, no, this isn't going to be like a one-off or a one-time thing. This is something that needs to be like addressed and peeled back, and look, the layers of it is very scary. It's very scary. So yeah,
It is. And
but yeah, like
apparently,
back,
it's so scary that it's creating all kinds of dust ups where there shouldn't even be any.
like where?
My emails,
Oh yeah. Oh,
man.
well, my emails too.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
see, they're creating more and more stories, because I was already going to peel back. Let's go back real quick.
Hmm?
I was already going
Thank you.
to I was already going to touch up on the TMZ situation,
Mm,
um, and what happened with TMZ. And when you guys see part two, you'll get a little taste of how TMZ's name and how they are involved in a situation with the Hadleys. It's very weird. Like, the Hadleys are not
they're
famous
not
or anything like that.
celebrities.
They're not celebrities. They're not known. But TMZ wanted to find out information about uh, Demoree's husband, and his prosecution, and I think Alex Spiro's name was mixed in there, and then there's one particular law firm that I saw
Mm.
in the mix. Um, they 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 I mean, I got struck by the channel. My channel got struck because of that. Look, like you said, the emails is I'm sorry, I had to digress that.
No, that's not a digress. It needs to be discussed. Why in God's name would there be strikes being granted for fair use commentary and public records? It shouldn't be. It
No,
should not be. Strike came from a, a entity that seems to only, you know, do. Oh, I almost forgot. Um, hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
go ahead. I'm supposed to be in the studio. Hold on 1 second. I done lost my other phone. Y'all over here. I'm gonna here, y'all. Field trip, y'all. Um, because I think people, while I don't know, what she go? She go to
I'm
the
here. I'm sorry.
bathroom?
No,
No, it's
no,
okay.
I'm just at the register. I was
I'm, no,
stopping.
I'm messing with you. This is
Oh,
the place. And shout out to my family members who, Flora Bryan, rest in peace. Uh, you
mhm.
heard the story about the Black Dahlia? The Black Dahlia.
Oh, the Black
She
Dahlia. Yeah, that
remember that?
case.
And it's funny because she
Terrible.
my
It really was
yeah,
terrible.
they found her here. This is where they found her, right here
I know.
in the
I
Merck
know.
Park. This part of the park. And
So many people don't
my
even acknowledge that
oh,
or
that was a
realize it.
sacrifice.
Oh,
That
I
was a
know. It was
sacrifice. But they,
and it was done. It was done ritualistically,
yep,
following all of the stuff that those people and people that are into those kind of things do. He was
yep,
severely mutilated.
mutilated. Yep.
It just after a very ritualistic actual exploits
Hmm.
that were filmed, recorded. She was humiliated. There was a lot of that going on, and it's interesting because even when they did the film about it, they changed her. They changed her to white rather than black.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
They had her.
A white woman. That's funny because side note, no, my auntie is the jazz. She's a what was a jazz legend, Cora Bryant. I think I told you that. And she's the one that gave her a jacket before, and that's the jacket she owned was the uh, jacket they found on her. So the FBI or the people came after her. She had to explain like, yeah, I let her have that because she was cold. It's yeah. I
You
just was
don't
like, let me.
remember like the way they redressed that in that movie. It was ooh, Scarlett Johansson was in that film. Josh Hartnett
I
was
gotta
in that
rewatch it.
film.
I gotta
It
rewatch it.
yeah, no, I mean, and it's so funny because it's almost as if they were trying to erase the footprints of the involvement of the entertainment, the music industry, her being black, what they were doing with bit players, how they were turning them out. It was they convoluted it really nice.
Yep. And speaking of, I guess me doing that, we could segue into what we were saying in regards to other people or media organizations or revisionist history historians try to convolute, um, stories too. So
Yeah,
again, shout out to you because you got people who trust you with their story, um, and they'll come to you before they will go to anyone else. You got these other uh, content creators who try to chase after you. You even mentioned it's like, wait, what happened to the stories y'all were covering? And
yeah.
these people were covering it, and they weren't covering it like in good faith. These people were covering it to be weirdos, stalkerish. They were not covering it to really produce justice. It was more for the clicks and the views and the sensationalism
The
or
thing
whatever.
is if you look at it for what it really like, what it really is, what it really looks like, it's kind of crazy because I'm sorry, I just don't see how people can't see that YouTube has become the number one place to derail a legitimate investigation.
Right.
Like I don't understand it. Because all they do is jump in the mix, they tell a bunch of lies, they all start arguing with each other about what's real, what's not real. And then the next thing you know, the police are off the hook and they don't have to investigate and there's no evidence and there's no like it's but
Yeah.
also it seems to be a one-stop shop for setting people up with cases as well.
Well, yeah. Look, and all that's gonna end. Shout out to let me speak on that in a bit. Well, shout out to Faith Jenkins and Kenny Lattimore. Ran it in them yesterday,
Yeah.
and there's a story going around that started on YouTube, started on an AI channel on YouTube, saying that you know uh, Faith Jenkins and Kenny Lattimore were getting a divorce, and this so-called YouTuber, and it was an AI YouTuber, had the receipts. They had doctored up divorce records, saying that those were the receipts, and chopping it up with them in regards to that case. I see what they went after YouTube and they went after the content creators, so-called content creators, because it was a YouTube. I mean, it was an AI channel. Someone who doesn't show their face. We're very
Yeah.
familiar with channels that do that,
Yeah.
and they were able to successfully uncover who these people are or were. etc.
Yeah.
So they're not playing. It's like don't play with my name, and I'm gonna get down to the bottom of it. We're gonna find out who you are, and we're gonna sue you, and we're gonna get litigious, right? So YouTube is a place where, well, right, it's just becoming a place where a bunch of weirdos, number one, but YouTube is a place right now where, yeah, a lot of cases can potentially be thrown. A lot of
How
cases can
many?
be made up.
But
Right.
how many have that has that already happened to? And you know, I know a lot of people. See, this is the thing that's tripping me out. Everyone wants to sit around and make a liar out of me. Everyone wants to say that I'm lying. They need me to be a liar. They need me to be wrong. And yet everything has happened exactly as I said. See, what they're really upset about is that I'm not giving them a way to hang me. Because that's what they want. They want one thing. It's so funny for all of the lies that have been thrown on me and pinned on me that haven't been true. Oh, and by the way, we should be at least 350 likes. Please keep double tapping that screen. It's a mobile upload.
Yeah, y'all hit the like button, please.
Like, seriously.
Hit the like
I mean, we
button.
know exactly how much everyone is hating, but come on, let's do better than this. Yes, everything that I have said has come to light, and yet people are still calling me a liar, but nobody is holding all of the people who have been proven to be liars accountable for anything in this point in time. No one. I find it interesting. One of those emails that I was talking about, there was some information that came in one of them regarding that case that I was mentioned in with a Diddy plaintiff who, in my opinion, should be at that trial, in my opinion. Thank you, Mother of Mysteries. No, seriously. Why isn't Ashley Parham on the stand?
Oh, it's because well, I know you're gonna get into it with the email, but it's because somebody else was at that situation and they don't want to be implicated that they were. I mean, I'm not gonna say. Let's not say no names, Jazz.
I'm
Let's
not
not
going to
say no
say
names.
any names. I'm not going to say any names. But what I am going to say is I find it very interesting that Ashley Parham's testimony was good enough to be in the documentary along with Natanya Rubin. To which, by the way, Ashley Parham spoke a lot more than Natanya did, even though Natanya was interviewed rigorously for more than half a day. And of the less than 5 minutes of commentary that they allowed in that, all they did was grab pieces of her crying and her talking about what a travesty this is, nothing else. Like, I find it very interesting. You've been a member for 5 months, LA chick. That's what's up. No, seriously, let's just be clear.
Appreciate you, LA chick. Live, laugh, love.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Why is
appreciate.
Ashley Parham not included in this trial? Why wasn't she edified enough to be able to be called by the prosecution? In my opinion, I think the reason why she wasn't called, even though she was actually in the documentary, was because her lawsuit became questionable. The second it was amended, and there were new so called people attached to it. One of those people being me. Thank you, LA Chick. Appreciate that. And we could use 250 more likes. Come on, let's stop tripping. There was so much that Ashley Parham suit. Ooh, I told you. Oh, she worked for Diddy. Oh, whoopty whoopty whoop. Why ain't nobody talking about that now? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because they were wrong. Because it was a lie. It invalidated that whole lawsuit. Just putting my name in it. You want to know what's interesting? The so-called John Doe and Jane Doe, the mother and son, that were the people who put me and all of the other people in it. You want to know what was really interesting about that? Allegedly, they tried to reach out to us. Allegedly. There's some very interesting things to say about Alex Spiro, Quinn Emanuel, and Ariel Mitchell Kidd. Allegedly. You know, all of those YouTubers who spent all of that time unmasking and giving out actual government names of Jane Does and John Does, of all of the Jane Does and John Does to be blown right here on YouTube. Why hasn't anybody looked into the Jane Doe and the John Doe on that Ashley Parham case?
You know, it's the reason why.
There's a lot more who should be on the stand. I mean, y'all guys haven't figured it out. They're trying to find a way to get this done without implicating any other big celebrities. Y'all
Hmm.
can't see that,
And everybody
and that's fine.
should revisit the video that I said exposing the connections to Ariel Mitchell to somebody. That'll give y'all a little bit of a hit. But carry on.
I think it's time for that Jane Doe and that John Doe to come forward. That's what I think. I think rather than sending ghost emails talking about how scared you are and how afraid you are and how scared you are, Alex Spiro and Quinn Emanuel, I think you should probably just come forward and tell the truth. Why is nobody looking into any of that? It's funny because judging by the original documents of the lawsuit, see, Ashley Parham, the reason why she was SA'd and and hurt and all that other stuff and moved around and all of that other stuff was because she fingered the diddler for taking out Pac. And that was done as punishment. That would have been a very damning witness to have on the stand for this trial. And considering she was in the documentary with the I tore my ass Ray and all the other Decepticons, doesn't make any sense that she's not on this stand. We need 400 more likes. Please stop playing with me. Double tap your screen, please. This is serious. A viable witness that should have been on that stand for this trial, who has very interesting information, has just been sidelined and completely silenced. Meanwhile, Ariel Kidd decides it's time for her to make a resurgence talking about Diddy's going down and Diddy's going down and he will be convicted. That's perfectly fine. When you get in charge next, Pooh? Hmm? When you get in charge, Paddington Bear? If y'all
Yeah,
can't look and see, all of media has been totally corrupted.
there needs to be an investigation just to her. And I mean, let's. I'm gonna look into her connection to the TMZ side of the game too. I mean,
We need
I,
500 more likes. Like, come on,
yeah,
stop playing. Please double tap the screen.
please hit the like. Um, No, they. I have a particular name for TMZ, but that's a whole nother conversation. But they're all in
They're
cahoots with
doing
each
too
other.
much. See, this is
Yeah,
the thing. TMZ getting involved in the Hadley case would be a little bit more it would have made a little bit more sense if he had waited for them to sue Desiree. Like when they sued Desiree and it went on the docket, that's when it would have made sense for TMZ to get involved because at this point in time, now it is attached to pop culture, it is attached to mainstream media news. Whoopty whoopty woo. It's on all the legal law sites that they go through and yada yada yada. But they got involved before that. They got involved. None of this stuff was really public record. They got involved before the Hadleys took action. Nobody knew what Desiree was doing. No one knew. Everything that she was doing was under the radar. So how did TMZ find out to call the DA, the state's attorney on the case, and not only asking when were they moving forward with prosecution, but requesting to be in the courtroom? Why?
we're see with this whole thing that we're doing, we're gonna break that down. And Jag again, y'all don't forget if you haven't seen the Demoree Hadley story part one, definitely go to our channel and check it out. Part
Actually,
two
if
is
one of
the
the mods could go and grab a link from the video and please put it in the chat.
yeah, you guys should definitely check out that because part two is a lot more explosive. It's going to get people riled up, in my opinion. But everyone needs to understand what it is that they've done. Talking about just certain people within the media to help terrorize his family. Um, but what we're going to do is, like I said, it's layers. Demore has her story, and her story on its own just it stands on its own.
Defending your
But
freedom, the
defending your
episode
freedom,
one.
episode one.
Auntie Leah, that would be
We
great.
we releasing part two. You're gonna sit with your Patreons and do it first, then
Well, yeah, we're gonna do the live watch party like we did last time. I'm enjoying doing that with you guys because it's giving me a chance to review it and to see what your reaction is. For those who want to be there for the live watch party for episode two, we'll be doing that later today. It's for Patreon members, so you'll need to be a member if you'd like to be a part of that. And we'll be releasing episode two tomorrow. I also want to say salute to Demore and to Javon. I don't. I'm really not understanding a lot of things regarding this story. I'm not. I'm really not understanding. Um, when you look at the situation with Javon, take away the fact we could use 300 more likes. Come on, guys, just double tap that screen. We need to get this video to 1,000 likes in under an hour. We do because we are being suppressed. We are being heavily suppressed. I'm not going to say the word that everybody else likes to use because they like to do stuff to you if you say that too. But we are being suppressed. Our numbers are being suppressed. There's no way Demore's story should be at anything less than 50,000. There's just no way. So if we can grab that link and post it up here, we're going to post it up here in the chat. And please, everybody, make sure you hit it, you like it, you share. Everyone needs to hear this. 333 likes in the building. We still need at least, yeah, we got
yeah,
a few hundred
we
more to
need a few
go.
more. We need a couple. Yeah, we need a couple more to go.
100 more to go. Um, yes, even if you're in the bushes, you can still like. Likes are anonymous.
Right.
Likes are
Yeah,
anonymous.
yeah. So to piggyback off what you're saying, though, look, the Maury story definitely needs to. It should be. It should have more than 10K, and that's pretty good for a few days that it's been
It's
up.
not bad, but it needs to be.
But
It needs
it,
to
it
be
should be.
more.
It should be. But listen,
Thank you,
that
Auntie
law,
Leah.
that law firm, number one, that law firm, which I'm gonna run down and do more information on. I'm not gonna say any names because I know there's weirdos in the back. Like literally, we got weirdos. Uh, I got weirdos stalking everything that I do, just for the sake of being weird, right? So there's certain. That's why I don't say certain stuff. 'Cause these they got weirdos for real. But we are uncovering a whole lot. Her story is by design to be suppressed because it's gonna point the finger and implicate a lot of people. You know, the one PI, Jeff 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 Brown, I
Jeff
believe.
Brown. Yeah, Jeffrey
Okay,
Brown.
he deserves this. He deserves a whole rundown on his own. See
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
that's
See,
part of the
that's the
reason why
thing.
I'm glad. No, no, no. Go ahead. I'm glad that's why she chose you to do it because it's like each individual person, the Dr. Boulder, what is it? Was the other guy, the one who you know met the officer and said, "Oh, there's a crazy
The
woman
private.
coming down."
Oh, yeah,
Well,
not
that's not
Jeff Brown, but
PI.
the other
That
guy.
was the owner, the wife, the guy who wife
You're
had
talking about the
the yacht.
ambush. You're talking about the ambush.
Man, if
And it
y'all
was
don't,
an ambush. Like, we're not going to get too far into it because that's a part of
yeah, yeah,
episode 2, and we're not going to do too many spoiler alerts. But
yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, me doing this story, it comes at a personal expense. It's very triggering for me because I know exactly what she's gone through because I've gone through the exact same things. What's really sad is a lot of it happened right here on this app. It was being broadcasted by troll accounts, by trollers, by avatars who don't, for people who they know aren't credible. Like, it is very triggering for me, like not donating to the Cash App, not donating to the channel. That's whatever, but if people knew the amount of time we put into this, that this is all self-generated and we're doing it to get you the truth. But I was telling you, like that situation with Demoree, when they put me in Parkland, it was damn near the same setup. I went to DeSoto PD that day to pick up my property after I had been falsely arrested for the third time that year, after I had already been through one mental facility to be checked for my mental capacity. I had already made it through with the same diagnosis that I had when I went in from 1997, PTSD. There were no, narcos or anything like that found in my system. Nothing. Even though they tried to keep convincing people that I was schizophrenic, that I was crazy. Meanwhile, they were using my second ex-husband, who was working with these very YouTubers to trump up evidence while he was stealing from me live online, while he was cheating on me with some slore nasty thing from the past. All of this to try to embarrass me. All of this was done right here on YouTube. I get a phone call from the commanding officer, which apparently I don't even think is the commanding officer. It's so funny. Ever since they put all of those charges on me back in 2023, all of a sudden now, don't nobody work there. People have been transferred around and moved around. Meanwhile, everything that they were saying about me was based upon two things. I was supposed to be a schizophrenic, and I was lying in manic and making up stories about celebrities, which all turned out to be true. So much so to the point where there were HSI raids, and now there's a trial. Yeah, I was lured to the police station that day. They told me I was going to get my property. I was sitting with my brother, and I told my brother, if I don't come back, you already know the last place that I went. They lured me there under false pretenses and then slapped paperwork on me. See, it's called a Baker Act in Florida, it's called a white warrant in Dallas, Texas. And guess what? 14 days there. And I came out with the same diagnosis that I went in with, PTSD and situational bipolar, if triggered by extreme events. The pictures that they showed me that the police brought them were AI'd and spoofed by YouTubers. And that was used as evidence to have me put in a hospital.
And then when y'all get into episode 3, you're gonna see. Oh man, see, I don't want to spoil it. 'Cause- yeah.
We'll take it one episode at a time.
Hmm.
But I'm telling you guys right now, okay, this is crazy. We should be at least 600 likes. We need 250 more likes, like real rap. I was lured there under false pretenses, also that I could be thrown into a hospital, trying to hope that they had enough. Not only that, the police actually wrote it in the report that I was on Molly, and yet none was found in my system. Isn't that the same thing that happened with Demoree? The exact same thing that happened with Demoree. You guys are going to see it in episode 2. Man, who would have thought that episode 1 could create so much havoc in the backdrop? We actually got people emailing us who were allegedly friends with Ms. Perez, saying all kinds of interesting things. But I tell you what, a veiled threat is a veiled threat. And we're going to be very clear on this. Very clear. We're not stopping. We're moving forward. We're not stopping. We're going to share everything. And we need this community to help. We do. That's what we built this for. Oh, yeah. But I think the two parts of that one email that we got that bothered me the most was the fact that they kept stressing the fact that Ms. Perez is heavily involved in witchcraft and that we should be careful and that Javon is not safe. I don't understand that. Why would you, in God's name, send an email talking about how much you appreciate what we're doing for Demoree and then have the audacity to even mention in it that Javon isn't safe? Like, what's up with that? There's
Oh, my
he's not
bad.
safe.
Sorry, y'all. Yeah, my bad. I was
No,
taking
I
care of
know.
some business. Go ahead. They. I mean, no, he's not safe, right?
It's funny. Like, why reach out as an ally of Miss Perez? And even some of the things that that was so-called said by this so-called friend were also very inflammatory and defamatory regarding Miss Perez. But then to say that Javon isn't safe and we need to be careful and
Well, see, you got people, like I said, their intentions are not good, nefarious
no,
intentions, and sometimes they're just saying stuff just to say stuff, which is kind of like, why
I don't
even
know.
go there?
I know what a veiled threat looks like. And the truth is why isn't Javon safe? Why isn't he safe? Like it takes a lot of a lot of balls to actually it really doesn't because it's all done under this anonymous. I'm so sick and tired of all of the anonymity. You should be able to put your face on the truth if it's the truth. Please, everybody, it is pinned in the chat the link to episode 1. Please make sure you hit that link. Make sure you like and you share and watch because you're going to need to watch. Number one, to see how the progression of this story goes about. I'm telling you, it's too much. It's a lot. But cyberbullying is totally uncalled for. All of the lying, hmm,
Yeah,
just a
it's
lot.
definitely not needed. Especially like I said, the main thing is what all we're trying to do is just get justice. That's it. Get um, the story in
Thank you,
itself.
Argon.
You have someone who's going up against someone who's uh, let's just say allegedly powerful, because I don't put power into people like CEOs of companies. They just run stuff over there. That's it. But you do have someone who has this perceived power. They're going up against them like, hey, very brave, very just it's man, look, a lot of people would be silent, a lot of people would cower. And again, shout out to you, Jack, for doing what you're doing, being the forerunner of this. And now people come to you, they are not afraid. And these people, you shouldn't be afraid of these people anyway. But
Nobody should
yeah,
be afraid of anyone, especially when you haven't done anything wrong. I see
right.
a lot of people talking about race. I see a lot of people talking about this. I see a lot of people talking about that, in the midst of, and salute to you and the excellent job you've been doing, making sure that people are, getting, a realistic aspect of what's happening down there in LA. Uh, for those of you who haven't been over to Set in the West, if you are looking to just get a real reaction, real time of what's happening there, no cap, no filler, just as it is, make sure you get over to Set in the West. You've been doing a really great job sharing all of that with us. But I bring all of that up to say that people keep talking about black and brown alliance and black and brown need to stand together and whoopty whoopty woo. Well, this is a black and brown marriage we're talking about, a black and brown relationship, Demoree and Javon. And while we're sitting here and we're talking about the details of everything that's going on, no one's talking about the fact that a black man has been accused of committing crimes that he did not commit. I
He
don't know
hasn't even
how.
he, he's never even been arrested before all this. Like he's a traffic ticket infraction, so none of these weirdos could even run down and try to say, I mean, it's easy though. Anybody can just say, oh yeah, this black man
I
did
didn't
something to
have a
me.
police record either
Oh, I know.
until my enemies from the music industry started paying people to lie on me, paying family members to lie on me, paying spouses to lie on me, paying exes to criminalize custody agreements that should have never been criminalized. paying people to do that. Like there's a lot of obstruction and corruption that goes on. But what I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out is when is the Black community going to have something to say about the fact that Javon Hadley has been lined up? His thank God he owns his own business and works for himself. This could have been enough to get him fired from his job if he didn't have that kind of freedom where he was his own boss,
Well, see, that's the thing.
which
Number
is
one,
wild because they used their company to line her up to be picked up.
well, like I said, that's the thing. Anybody that uses the tools of this system to not not just destabilize, or but to completely just like alter your life. Uh, and that's what I was talking about. You said black and brown relationship, not to correct you, but listen, I always say there's only three people on this planet. You got, people of color, you got the people who classify themselves as white, and you got the racists, and the racists are the ones who have the power. So a person like Desiree Perez would be the person that has power, right? And what she can do, oh, she could have TMZ go after someone who isn't even necessarily a celebrity, allegedly, right? And then um, uh, put court cases on people. Police are called for one matter, and then the police, oh, there's nothing here. And then months later, they're putting cases on a
Years
situation where
later,
police need to say, right,
years
years later,
later.
and say,
And I
hey,
know what
oh,
that's
this
like
case is,
because look at me. Look at what happened to me just last year.
I know, I know.
I was arrested for one crime that I didn't commit. I was forced to be made a fugitive because YouTubers revoked my bond intentionally so that I could be put in fugitive status, so that I could be arrested. And I was poisoned while I was in police custody in Dallas. All of these things really did happen. All of these things really did happen. And when it became clear that they weren't interested in taking me to trial, when it became clear, they offered me a mental diversion, probation, and if I agreed to do that, they were going to drop all the charges against me except for one thing. In order to be taken into a mental diversion program, there has to be something wrong with you mentally, and I didn't match the criteria.
So,
And so when they realized that that case was going to fall through, all of a sudden I'm charged with stealing something that was confiscated while I was in being held in detainment for something that I paid for that the company doesn't even understand. And apparently neither does Grand Prairie.
well, again,
There was a Crime Stoppers report that was put up. There's a so-called accomplice. Where is he?
yeah, who is he? Look,
Where is
that's
the accomplice that had me that helped me steal a truck that I couldn't have stolen? See, once again, this is me showing you they will go and they will go back and they will find something and come on
yeah, yeah.
and then trump
Uh,
it all up all over again. And that's exactly what happened to Javon Hadley. The incident that he was taken to arrested for in front of his family during a
yeah,
holiday was something
yeah.
that when the police initially showed up, they refused to arrest him for because nothing had happened.
But then you had a quote
We need
unquote
250
private
more likes,
investigator,
guys. Come on, let's go.
quote unquote private investigator come through. And, oh yeah, I was following him, and like I said, when you guys see this man,
Episode
man,
two, episode two
man,
is it's gonna peel your cat back. It's gonna peel your cat back. And I
yeah. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but look, y'all.
no, we're not. We're not. I mean, we're addressing the things that have already been discussed in the lawsuit, but the thing is discussing it in the lawsuit, and you can review the lawsuit all you want. But once you hear Demoree's
Yeah.
first-hand witness account, and you get to see the way it's been elegantly and beautifully curated, and edited and put together, so you can walk through the evidence of all of this in real time. You guys need to see this. You need to see this. We need to support this story. If you guys don't like what has happened to me, and what the law has done to me, and what corruption in law, and and once again, I know exactly what it feels like to be hauled into a hospital, and you're sitting there with your doctor and they don't even understand why they're holding you. Well, the police said, well, the police said, well, the police said. And then when they show me the stuff that the police showed them, I'm sitting there looking at it, AI'd, spoofed, and all of this stuff generated from YouTube channels.
Yeah, what needs
It's
to
so
happen,
funny.
there needs to be advocates outside of, some people have different ulterior motives, and families sometimes will just go against certain people. That's a whole nother conversation because it's good that Jovan had a bunch of people who knew the situation and cared for him, and they made sure, you know, he was good because once you're locked away, like you don't make bail or whatever, you have to sit and all that or whatever, well, a lot of, like, he didn't have any case before prior, so they couldn't really hold him. They could just release him on OR or whatever, etc. But you know look, they do what they can to just try to hold you and then do harm to you like they did to you. It's, oh yeah, here's the reason why. Like last year when you were being uh, and held, and you were in greater confinements in Dallas. And I'm sitting there trying to find out what's going on. They trying to get your DNA. I'm like, why y'all trying to get her DNA? It, it ain't got nothing. Like when you get a person's DNA, that's like, oh, there was some crime that didn't happen prior to. Woo, woo, woo. So this makes me think the Ariel Mitchell situation was probably already in place then because they were trying to get your DNA then, June 6th of 2024. So the Ariel Mitchell situation could have been set in place even back then. Because why are they trying to get your DNA? They had no reason to get your DNA. You were not charged with any crime. They were more than likely probably trying to trump up some more charges. So a year later, or not a year later, 6, 7 months later, she busts out with this bogus lawsuit with you. I mean, come on, y'all. Start putting two and two together. You get what I'm saying? For real. Okay, Jag, are you frozen? What happened? Yo, Jag, you might have to go out and come back in. That's what she might have to do. I don't know what's going on with the train. I think she was frozen. You see someone on the trial now who's innocent. Yeah, yeah. Y'all can hear Jag and y'all can hear me. Can y'all see me? Am I moving? I think we might have to end this live because I don't know what's going on. Okay.